Hello, this is Allyse, and you're listening to Daily Mentor Call number 49. Today we're going to talk about strategy sessions, and this is something that I started really early in my doTERRA business. I went and talked to one of the most successful people in another company. He was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and he told me that one of his secrets to success is that he has strategy sessions every week with all of his personally enrolled qualifying builders. Now, personally enrolled qualifying builders would be your CCs, your committed and capable leaders, or your leaders right now that you're qualifying with. You can't have strategy sessions with everybody on your team or all the people that need help on your team, or you're going to be taking too much of your time, right? So if a leader wants to receive mentoring from you, you don't have to know everything about the business. You don't have to be perfect, right? You just need to support them in a really great, systematic way. And most of the answers are going to come when they talk it through with you, okay? Now, if you're missing anything and if you know they're struggling with something, you can find it in this program. You can go to a certain section, listen to it, review it before you get on your strategy calls. And these should happen once a week at the same time. Now, I used to do them live because a lot of my leaders lived really close to me, and now they're, all over. So now I do them on the phone. Some of them still come over and we do it live. But if they're full-time in the business, you give them an hour. If they're part-time in the business, you give them a half an hour, and you make sure that they call you. You're not going to be hounding them down and making sure that they're going to be on a call with you. And it's really interesting. People come up to me a lot and say, well, my leaders, they just don't want to get on strategy calls with me. And I think to myself, well, isn't that obvious why, right? Like, if you were offering value, they wouldn't miss a call. They would want to be there the entire time. So your goal is not to be a cheerleader and not to be a counselor. Sometimes we get caught up into counseling and we're not professionals, right? Your goal is to have actionable items every single week that they can move forward in their business. Because I found that when people actually move forward in their business, then they're not whining so much. They're not complaining. You don't have to do so much counseling. So they should call you, right? And if it goes weeks and weeks for them not calling, then it's obvious that they don't value your time or you're not giving them what they need. And you can take it back and just say, hey, I can see this isn't working for you. We can have a call once a month. But usually if you're offering value, they'll want it really bad. And what I mean by value, it's not just you talking at the strategy session, but it's you actually putting your time and talents and your resources into them. I remember Molly Dayton, when she would come over for her strategy session, there was always someone before her for their strategy sessions. I like to do strategy sessions on Monday because I get them all done. We get all set up for the week. It's not very good if you do a strategy session on Friday and then they kind of forget about it over the weekend. So I had them all set up back to back on Monday. And the nice thing about having them back to back is that they have to stop. We have to be done. And the next person comes in or on the phone, right? And she would sit there and she would just keep knocking on the door. She wouldn't stop knocking until we were done because it was wasting her time because every minute was valuable to her. So the biggest things that you need to do in a strategy session is you need to make sure that you talk about last week's goals, because every week you're going to have goals. We set 3 goals every single week. And I usually ask people, okay, what 3 priorities do you have that you feel like it would just make your week amazing? Like you could say, this was a really good doTERRA week. So when they first come in, of course, you want to get caught up and you want to think, ask them, how are you feeling about doTERRA? What was a good part of your week? What was a hard part? And then you're going to review and go over their 3 priorities. So for instance, if they said something like, okay, I want to follow up with these 2 people that didn't come to a class. So you'd say, great. And you'd say, by when do you want to follow up? And they would say, oh, maybe by Thursday. And so they put it down in their sheets. We have strategy sheets, by the way, that I'm going to give you that you can use. They put it down in their sheet, and I put it down in my sheet so I can follow up with them too. Or if you're doing it over the phone, you can even just type it into your phone under strategy for this week, for Natalie. Let's say it's Natalie's strategy session. And then I say, okay, and do you need any help with that for me? Following up with those. Do you need any help? She goes, no, I think I have that. What's the second priority that you have? Well, the second priority is that I need to get ready for a training for all of my team this Saturday on sampling. I'm like, great. How are you going to get ready for that? Well, I have to call everybody and let them know, or text everybody. And then I'll say, by when are you going to text them that? And she'll say, well, today's Monday. I can do it by Wednesday. I'm like, okay, do you need help with that? Can I support you anyway? And she goes, yeah, well, actually, I'm needing some oils for that exact thing because I'm going to actually let them go and do some sampling. And if you have some extra oils, I'd really appreciate it. And then I would say, okay, great. For sure, let me know what oils you need and I'll get them to you. And is there anything else with that you need help with? No. So then she'd go on to the next thing. And I would say, what's the third thing that you want to do this week that you feel like it would be a great doTERRA week? And she says, well, I want to find a new person interested in the business. Okay, so how are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to go back over my 100 list and I'm going to contact some of the 4s, 5s, and 6s. And the ones that I've sampled that kind of didn't go anywhere, and I'm going to see where they're at. All right, by when do you want to do that, Natalie? And she says, well, by Friday night. And I said, do you need help with that? Can I support you in that? And she said, yeah, well, actually, there was a guy, his name is John, and he was pretty interested, and I was wanting to put him on a 3-way call with you because I think it would be great for him to be on a 3-way call with you. So do you think if I set that up, could you do that this week? And I'm like, yeah, what day are you thinking? And she would say something like, well, let's try Saturday afternoon. And I'm like, all right, let's put it into our phones. And then what I would do to support Natalie and hold her accountable all week long is I would put her goals and when she committed that she would have those done by into my phone with a reminder. And then when that reminder goes off during the week, I just simply call her or text her and say, hey, were you able to call everybody for the training this Saturday? Because it's Wednesday night, right? And she's like, yeah, I got that done. And then again on Thursday and Friday, I text her when she has goals. That's how a strategy session should go. It should be very, very focused on activities. And when you focus on activities, things move forward, right? So I have done strategy sessions for years and years and years, literally 10 years. I don't know how anyone moves forward in a really, really effective way without talking to their qualifying builders every single week. Because if someone just gets a call at the end of the month, just because you need to make sure that you have your power of 3, or that you need to make sure that they have enough volume, they start to feel kind of used. And that's not a relationship. You need to get in the mud, in the dirt, like getting dirty with these people, helping them with time and talents and resources, because truly you're partners and they are what's creating your residual income. So go ahead and watch the weekly success schedule webinar. It goes through everything that you need to do to schedule into your week all of these core activities. And of course, there's contacting and following up, which I recommend 4 hours a week at different times during the week. And you don't do anything but contacting and following up those 4 hours. So like it could be Monday morning or Thursday afternoon or Friday at night. The reason why we do it at different times is because if somebody's always in yoga class in the morning, then it's hard to get a hold of them. And so we break it up during different times. And contacting and following up is one of the most important activities you will do. Many times if you don't schedule it into your week, you don't do it. And if you don't contact, then you don't have people to come to classes. If you don't have people to come to classes, they don't get signed up. If they don't get signed up, they don't become great business or great product users, and they definitely don't become sharers or builders, and you have nothing left in your pipeline to work with. So it's a crucial activity. And we've talked a lot about contacting in other parts of the Daily Mentor Calls. So go watch the webinar, get really clear, and your assignment is to put your own weekly success schedule together and follow it. Follow it for at least 12 months, and you'll see magic, literally magic happen with your organization. Have a super great day. Bye-bye.